Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh, has always been known for her close bond with Catherine, Princess of Wales. However, her recent move towards Catherine has left Queen Camilla surprised and many royal watchers talking. Sophie is considered someone Catherine could increasingly lean on when she becomes queen, offering support as another woman within the royal family. In a subtle yet powerful gesture, Sophie recently showed her support for Catherine's family in a way that did not go unnoticed. Some believe this act sends a clear message about loyalty and unity within the royal circle. So, what exactly did Sophie do, and why did it take Camilla by surprise? Join us as we uncover the story behind this symbolic act and the quiet strength of Duchess Sophie. Recently, Sophie made a gesture that caught Queen Camilla off guard, a move many see as a quiet show of support for Catherine. While we will delve into the details later, it is no surprise that Sophie would take this stance. She has always valued real relationships over royal politics, and with tensions within the family, standing by Catherine aligns with who she is. In the royal world, every look, word, and action is closely watched, but some people earn respect without trying to steal the spotlight, and Sophie is one of them. She has built a reputation for quiet strength, loyalty, and steady support. While much focus has been on the relationship between Queen Camilla and Princess Catherine, Sophie has become a bridge between them, handling the delicate situation with grace. She has never been one for big statements or public drama. Instead, she focuses on real connections, offering small but meaningful gestures of support. As the royal family faces more challenges, both privately and publicly, Sophie's role has only become more important. Behind the scenes, she proves to be one of the family's most underrated yet invaluable members. Her empathetic character, supportive nature, and ability to maintain harmony within the family stand out. One of Duchess Sophie's most defining traits is her empathy. She doesn't need to command a room with loud speeches or dramatic gestures. Instead, she understands people on a deeper level, offering support where it's needed most. When Princess Catherine faced health challenges, including her recent cancer battle, Sophie was not just present, she was quietly there in ways that mattered. She has often been spotted offering Catherine reassuring gestures, whether through body language or simple acts of kindness. In times when Catherine needed stability, Sophie provided it, not through public displays but through genuine connection. And it's not just Catherine who benefits from Sophie's warmth. She has displayed the same kindness towards other family members, including Queen Camilla. While Camilla's journey in the royal family was complicated, Sophie remained a trusted figure. She never distanced herself during difficult times, nor did she make headlines for the wrong reasons. Instead, she remained constant, something rare in a world where loyalties can change. Her empathy is a key reason she is so valued, especially during a time when the royal family faces constant change and public scrutiny. Support within the royal family is not always about grand gestures, sometimes, it's about knowing when to step in and when to stay in the background. Sophie has mastered this balance. For Princess Catherine, who had to navigate royal life without the guidance of a biological sister, Sophie became someone to turn to. When Catherine first entered the family, Sophie was one of the few who truly understood what she was going through. After all, Sophie herself married into the monarchy and had to learn the rules of royal life while under constant public scrutiny. That's why their bond is not forced but built on shared experiences. Sophie has been one of the few people Catherine can count on, especially during times of personal struggle. But it's not only Catherine who benefits from Sophie's unwavering support. Queen Camilla has also formed a solid relationship with her over the years. Despite the complicated issues within the royal family, Sophie and Camilla have managed to maintain a friendly and mutually respectful relationship. Unlike some royal members who have taken sides in various tensions, Sophie has remained neutral yet supportive, ensuring that both Catherine and Camilla feel a sense of reliability in her presence. There is a reason why many have described Sophie as the older sister Catherine never had. Their connection isn't solely about being royals but about understanding each other on a deeper level. Catherine, who came from a non-royal background, had to adjust to the pressures of monarchy. Sophie knew exactly what that felt like. She had experienced the same challenges years before. Instead of standing by and watching Catherine struggle, she offered her guidance, whether it was helping her navigate royal protocols, giving her advice on balancing motherhood and duty, or simply being there as a friend. Sophie took on the role naturally, and Catherine isn't the only one who benefits from this relationship. Sophie, too, finds comfort in her bond with Catherine. It's a mutual connection, one that goes beyond formalities and feels authentic. Whenever they are spotted together at events, there is an ease to their interaction. They aren't just putting on a show for the cameras, there is a genuine sense of warmth between them. However, one thing that makes Sophie stand out is her role as the peacemaker of the royal family. In a family as complex as the British royal family, someone like Sophie is invaluable. She isn't the most famous, nor is she the most talked about, but she plays a crucial role in keeping things together. She does not engage in drama, nor does she get involved in public controversies. Instead, she focuses on building relationships and maintaining a sense of unity within the family. While Catherine and Camilla have had their own challenges to handle, Sophie has been the steady presence who bridges gaps, fosters understanding, and promotes harmony. Her quiet strength, genuine connections, and unwavering support make her an essential figure within the royal circle, embodying the values of loyalty, empathy, and resilience. Sophie has been one of the few constants. She doesn't take sides, and she does not create unnecessary friction. Instead, she supports, listens, and remains present, ensuring that both women feel valued and heard. It's this stability that makes her one of the most trusted members of the family. She may not always be in the spotlight, but her influence is deeply felt. But what symbolic act did Sophie show towards Catherine that made Camilla stunned? Stay tuned as we delve into this. Interestingly, Sophie has always stood out in the royal family, not just because of her elegance and grace but because of her humble beginnings and grounded personality. Unlike many royals who are born into privilege, Sophie grew up in a regular middle-class household. Her father was a tire salesman, and her mother worked as a secretary, so she knew what it meant to live a normal life before stepping into royal duties. This background has shaped her approach to life, making her one of the most relatable and hardworking members of the royal family. However, Sophie's journey into the royal family wasn't one of grandeur and fairy tale romance. She was working in public relations at Capital Radio when she first met Prince Edward in 1987. At the time, Edward was actually dating one of her friends, so nothing happened between them. However, 6 years later, after a charity event, their paths crossed again, and this time they got together. Unlike some royal relationships that move quickly, their courtship was built on years of friendship, which probably explains why they have one of the most stable marriages in the royal family today. Even after marrying Edward, Sophie didn't immediately jump into full-time royal life. She continued working for a few years, showing that she wasn't in a rush to leave behind her independence. But in 2002, she officially became a full-time royal and took on more responsibilities within the monarchy. Despite living in a mansion, having a royal title, and enjoying privileges that most people can only dream of, Sophie has never lost touch with the real world. Former BBC royal correspondent Jenny Bond once recalled meeting Sophie when she was just starting to gain public attention as Edward's girlfriend. Even back then, Sophie was polite, kind, and approachable, which is something that hasn't changed over the years. One of the biggest ways Sophie has kept her perspective is through the way she raises her children. Unlike other royal parents who emphasize titles and royal traditions, Sophie and Edward have made it clear to their children, Lady Louise Windsor and James, Earl of Wessex, that they will have to earn their own way in life. In fact, Sophie was happy for her daughter to take on a seasonal job at a garden center where she earned less than €7 an hour. This simple act spoke highly about Sophie's values, as she believes in hard work and doesn't want her children to rely solely on their royal status. Furthermore, many members of the royal family participate in charity work, but Sophie takes her role to another level. She doesn't only show up for photo opportunities but actually puts in the work. During the COVID-19 pandemic, while most people were stuck at home, Sophie volunteered with the Royal Voluntary Service, making phone calls to people who were feeling isolated. Even after the pandemic ended, she continued talking to some of them, proving that she wasn't just helping for show but genuinely cared. Unlike some royals who prefer the spotlight, Sophie often works behind the scenes, traveling under the radar to support causes that truly matter to her. Her quiet but impactful efforts have made her one of the most respected members of the royal family. With this humble background, strong work ethic, and genuine kindness, Sophie has naturally drawn herself closer to Catherine, who also came from a non-royal background. Just like Sophie, Catherine was raised in a regular middle-class family and had to navigate the challenges of marrying into royalty. Their shared experiences have created a deep understanding between them, making Sophie a strong supporter of Catherine and her family. However, let's look at Catherine's history that made her drawn to Sophie immediately after joining the royal family. What's striking is that Catherine's ordinary upbringing unexpectedly forged an extraordinary bond with Sophie. Catherine may have married into royalty, but she wasn't born into it. Like Sophie, she comes from a regular middle-class background, which is part of what makes her so relatable to the public. Before she became a royal, she lived a fairly normal life with school, work, and a journey that many people can identify with. This is why she and Sophie have so much in common, and it's also why Sophie's recent symbolic act toward Catherine's family carried so much weight. Catherine was born in Reading, England, but she grew up in Bucklebury, Berkshire. Unlike Prince William, who was raised in palaces and surrounded by royal traditions from birth, Catherine had a much more typical childhood. Her parents, Michael and Carol Middleton, worked hard to provide a good life for their children. They built their family business, Party Pieces, from the ground up, showing Catherine the value of determination and hard work from an early age. She attended St. Andrew's School before moving on to Marlborough College, where she was known for being a hardworking and well-liked student. But it was during her time at the University of St. Andrews in Scotland that her life took a turn toward royalty. That's where she met Prince William in 2001, and while they started out as friends, their relationship eventually blossomed into something more. It did take a bit of time for us to get to know each other, but we did become, very close friends from quite early on. By the time she graduated in 2005 with a degree in art history, Catherine was already becoming a well-known figure in the media. Due to her connection with William, Catherine found herself in the public eye early on, but despite the attention, she didn't rush into royal life. She held several jobs, including working for her parents' company, and also pursued charity work. She wasn't handed her role on a silver platter. Instead, she had to build her own path before officially joining the royal family. However, being in a relationship comes with its own share of problems, as Catherine and William's relationship experienced ups and downs, including a highly publicized breakup in 2007. Nevertheless, they eventually reunited, and when their engagement was announced in November 2010, the world couldn't get enough of Catherine. People admired her poise, elegance, and the way she carried herself with grace under intense public scrutiny. On April 29, 2011, Catherine officially became the Duchess of Cambridge when she married Prince William at Westminster Abbey in a ceremony watched by millions across the globe. This was a day the world had been waiting for, with crowds gathered outside Westminster Abbey in London, the very spot where Prince William made Kate Middleton his bride in front of an estimated 2 billion people worldwide. It was a historic moment, but for Catherine, it wasn't just about the fairy tale wedding. It marked the start of a lifetime commitment to royal duties and public service. Over the years, she and William have built a strong family together. They have 3 children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, who are growing up in the public eye, just as William did. Catherine has taken an active role in raising them while balancing her responsibilities as a senior royal. From the moment she married into the royal family, Catherine demonstrated that she was not there merely to wave from balconies and attend glamorous events. She took her role seriously and focused on causes that truly mattered to her. One of her biggest passions is early childhood development. She has dedicated much of her charity work to supporting young children and families. Through the Royal Foundation, she has worked on projects aimed at improving mental health support for children, addressing the stigma around mental health, and ensuring that children receive the help they need. Catherine has also provided resources for parents and raised awareness about the importance of early education. In addition to her work with children, she supports over 20 charities and military organizations, including the Anna Freud Center, Action for Children, Sports Aid, and the National Portrait Gallery. She believes in using her platform to make a difference and is not afraid to get hands-on with her work, whether visiting a children's hospital, sitting down with families to hear their struggles, or advocating for better mental health support. In April 2016, Catherine launched the Heads Together campaign with William and Harry, a mental health awareness initiative designed to encourage people to talk about their struggles without stigma. The campaign was widely praised and helped spark important conversations about mental health, not just in the UK but around the world. However, being a royal comes with many privileges, but it also carries immense pressure, especially when dealing with the media. Catherine has been under intense public scrutiny ever since her relationship with William became public. She has had to navigate constant attention from the press, with the media following her every move, from what she wears to how she raises her children. Her influence on fashion has been so significant that it's been dubbed the Kate Middleton effect, a phenomenon where items she wears sell out within hours. Despite embracing her role as a public figure, she has worked hard to maintain privacy for herself and her family. She and William have been very protective of their children, striving to provide them with as normal a childhood as possible despite their royal status. Balancing public duty with personal boundaries has not always been easy, but Catherine has handled it with grace. Everything changed again for Catherine in September 2022 when King Charles III officially made William the Prince of Wales, a title previously held by Charles himself. This made Catherine the Princess of Wales, a title that had not been used since the passing of Princess Diana. Taking on this title came with many expectations. Diana was beloved by the public, and many saw her as the people's princess. Naturally, comparisons between Catherine and Diana were inevitable. However, rather than trying to replicate Diana's legacy, Catherine has carved out her own path, focusing on her unique strengths and passions. As Princess of Wales, she has continued her commitment to charitable work with a strong emphasis on early childhood development and mental health awareness. She has also taken on more responsibilities within the royal family, representing the monarchy on official tours and engagements. Given Catherine's journey from a regular girl in Berkshire to the future Queen of England, it's no surprise that she and Sophie share a deep understanding of what it means to adapt to royal life. Catherine's story is one of grace, resilience, and dedication, reflecting her unwavering commitment to her family, her duties, and the causes she holds dear. Both women had to navigate the challenges of joining the royal family while staying true to themselves. Sophie, who has been part of the royal family for much longer, has often been seen as a mentor to Catherine. She knows what it's like to juggle royal duties, public expectations, and personal values. That's why her recent symbolic act toward Catherine's family carried so much significance. At a time when tensions within the royal family have been the subject of public speculation, Sophie's show of support was seen as a clear statement. It showed that she stands firmly by Catherine's side, reinforcing the idea that the royal family isn't only about hierarchy and titles but also about personal relationships and loyalty. For Queen Camilla, who has worked hard to establish her position in the monarchy, this might have come as a surprise. She has her own way of navigating royal life, but Sophie and Catherine's bond shows a different approach, one that prioritizes quiet strength, genuine service, and deep connections. Here's the most interesting part: the symbolic act that stunned Camilla. Over the years, the relationship between Sophie and Catherine has grown stronger, with royal experts often describing Sophie as a mentor and an older sister figure to Catherine. They have frequently been seen together at public events, always appearing warm and comfortable in each other's presence. The moment that caught everyone's attention happened during the Remembrance Sunday service in November 2024. As the royals stood on the balcony of the Foreign, Commonwealth, and Development Office honoring the fallen soldiers, cameras captured a significant moment between Sophie and Catherine. As they prepared to leave, Sophie gently placed her hand on Catherine's back in a quiet but powerful show of support. In most families, such a gesture would be completely ordinary, something one might do instinctively for a loved one. But in the royal family, where every move is carefully measured and controlled, it stood out. Public displays of affection among senior royals are rare, especially in formal settings. So why did Sophie's act of kindness matter so much? Firstly, it showed the strength of their bond. In a family that has seen its fair share of conflicts, rivalries, and tensions, Sophie and Catherine's relationship stands out as one of genuine warmth and trust. Unlike other royal women who have struggled with in-laws and palace politics, Catherine has found a true ally in Sophie. It also showed the changing relationships within the royal family. Traditionally, power and influence within the royal household have been dominated by figures like Queen Elizabeth II and now Queen Camilla. But with King Charles III on the throne, there is a noticeable change happening. The younger generation of royals, led by William and Catherine, are stepping into more prominent roles, and Sophie's unwavering support for Catherine signals that she is part of this new era. For many watching the royal family, Sophie's act wasn't only about comforting Catherine in that moment but a symbolic statement. Over the years, there have been whispers about tensions within the royal family, particularly regarding Queen Camilla's position. While Catherine has always been respectful and dutiful, some believe there is a quiet struggle for influence behind palace doors. Sophie's public display of support could be seen as a subtle but clear message. By showing solidarity with Catherine, she emphasized where her loyalties lie. Some experts suggest that this may not have sat well with Camilla, who has worked hard to cement her place in the royal family following years of public criticism. While Camilla has gradually gained more acceptance, she does not share the same kind of effortless public admiration that Catherine does. Catherine, often described as the modern face of the monarchy, has become one of the most beloved members of the royal family. She has dedicated herself to important causes, including early childhood development, mental health awareness, and supporting military families. Unlike Camilla, who faced decades of controversy due to her history with King Charles, Catherine has built her image on grace, patience, and dedication. Sophie's gesture may have shown this contrast. In choosing to publicly support Catherine in such an obvious way, she reinforced Catherine's place as the future queen consort and as a central figure in the modern monarchy. Furthermore, Sophie's journey in the royal family has been one of quiet strength. Unlike other royal wives, she did not seek the spotlight or demand attention. Instead, she worked hard behind the scenes, proving her loyalty and commitment over time. During Queen Elizabeth II's reign, Sophie was one of the late Queen's most trusted family members. She frequently accompanied Her Majesty on engagements and was considered one of the Queen's closest confidants. After the Queen's passing, Sophie's role became even more significant. As Duchess of Edinburgh, she has continued to dedicate herself to royal duties, focusing on causes related to vision impairment, gender equality, and supporting survivors of sexual violence in conflict zones. Catherine, too, has embraced her responsibilities with quiet determination. From her early days as a royal to her current position as Princess of Wales, she has shown a natural ability to connect with the public. Together, Sophie and Catherine represent a new wave of royal women, women who understand the importance of duty but also value authenticity and personal connection. Their bond is not built on power struggles or competition but on shared experiences, mutual respect, and a genuine understanding of the pressures they both face. So, what do you think Sophie's gesture really meant? Do you think the royal family is becoming more open and supportive in public, or was this just a rare moment caught on camera? If you enjoyed watching this video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more. Also, click the next video shown on your screen, you will enjoy it.